Hello and welcome to the Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. I'm your host, Macy Renee, and we are going on a journey together, my friend. If you've been looking for a podcast geared towards your growth, self-awareness, navigating your brain's daily mind drama, and deep inner work to become your highest and best self, you are in the perfect place. Let's get started. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Your Highest Self podcast. I'm Macy, and I am just so happy you joined me this morning, whether you're brand new or you come all the time. Welcome, welcome. So this is an exciting week for me because I am leaving for vacation. So this podcast episode's being recorded way ahead of time. I really hope that by the time you're listening to this, I don't live in the current apartment that I'm living in. I really pray that we are in a different situation than where I'm currently recording. So, I can't say send me good juju. Well, I might ask for it anyways, just in case for some reason we're still waiting or looking or having some troubles. So, this week though, I will be leaving for vacation. I fly into Kentucky at the end of the week because my grandma is a little bit hesitant about flying on her own. She doesn't really know how to navigate airports because she doesn't travel by plane a lot. So she asked me to fly into Kentucky so that we can fly into Destin, Florida together, in which case we will be with close family friends of ours at 30A. And I will share that journey with you on Instagram. I don't know how much I'll actually post. I always have this battle between wanting to share everything and then wanting to like recluse and share nothing because sometimes it just feels like a lot to do. And I've also worked so hard in recent years of my life to just be more present and not feel like I have to have my phone with me all the time and just like be in the moment. And so I can imagine that on this beach trip, I'll just want to be in the moment. I want to, veg out, be like totally a potato and like lay and get too sunburnt and eat snacks by the pool and go on walks on the beach and read a book and just not be consumed with like whatever's going on in social media or posting a lot on social media. Now, I might get there and change my mind and have some things that I'm posting and sharing because it's beautiful. We're going to the same exact places we did last year. Like, we loved it so much while we were there last year that before we even left, we booked it again. So I'm really excited for that. It's going to be like a 2-week vacation for me. I'm taking off. I'm not going to work with any of my clients, which will kill my soul a little bit because I love my clients. I'll be on standby for any emergencies that, they might need, and I will absolutely help them if they feel it's emergent. But otherwise, I'm just going to enjoy myself. So for this episode today, we are actually going to talk about borrowed emotions, okay? Really important. I taught a little bit about this in the Equipped Parent Masterclass, which actually I have not taken down. I don't know if by the time you'll listen to this, that will have changed. So you can always reach out and let me know. But it is already uploaded in the Equipped Society group program. So when you join that, you have access to any of the previous masterclasses I've held that relate to the work that I've been doing here in recent years. So with that being said, we're going to talk about borrowed emotions and the holes in us that exist, okay? So this topic is really around your emotional self-awareness. Now, what we don't realize a lot of times is that we navigate life seeking things that we're missing in other people. So, for instance, the way that we want to feel. A lot of times we want to feel validated, we want to feel seen, we want to feel loved, we want to feel appreciated, we want to feel all of these amazing emotions. We want to feel happy. And what we tend to do without emotional intelligence, without the subcategory of emotional intelligence, one being emotional self-awareness, is we give a lot of this power, like a lot of this, like the emotions that we're desiring and seeking, being loved, being wanted, being seen, being heard. We give that to other people. We place that responsibility into the hands of other people. And we feel like if they don't validate me, if they don't tell me I'm pretty, if they don't tell me that I'm smart, if they don't remind me of those things, I don't believe it within myself. I don't see it in myself. And I get the humanness in this, right? We love, like a lot of us, the way that we love is words of affirmation. I mean, it's one of the 5 love languages, It's like, I want you to tell me I'm amazing. Like it's like, what's that quote? Like, feed me tacos and tell me I look pretty. Like, tell me all of the things that you love about me. I want that validation. I want extra. I just want it. But what we don't realize is that this is a big ask. It's a big responsibility placed on other people that isn't their responsibility at all. And for women especially, like a lot of times we go into the relationship having a ton of expectations for our partner. We really place this responsibility on them that they're going to make us feel a certain way because we don't feel like we can have those emotions without them. So the way that like the visualization, you guys know I love teaching through visuals. And so I want you to kind of close your eyes and imagine this, but think of your body and then think of every quality you don't believe that you have. So let's say you struggle with your self-esteem, you struggle with confidence, you struggle with feeling like you're enough, you struggle with feeling pretty enough or thin enough or thick enough or, voluptuous enough or whatever it is that keeps you from believing you're enough now. Or maybe you're like, I never feel happy. Like I feel anxious and depressed and sad a lot of the time. So like, I want you to imagine each of those things I just mentioned as having like holes all the way through your body, like where you're see-through. Like if someone was looking at you, everything you don't believe you have yourself is a hole that, people can see right through. So if I was looking at you, your whole silhouette, I would see these holes where I can, see whatever is behind you because you believe that part is missing. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not thick enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not happy enough. I'm sad all the time. I'm anxious all the time. I'm this all the time. I'm just, okay? And so you've got the silhouette with a bunch of different holes. Now, what tends to happen is we are surrounded by people that, not everybody has the same holes as we do, which, is really great whenever we're around them. Because whenever we're around them, what they make us feel is different than the way we feel when we're alone with our holes. Okay? So you get around this man or woman and you're like, oh my God, when I'm around you, I'm the happiest I've ever been. When I'm around you, I've never felt more loved than I feel right now. When I'm around you, you make me feel like the smartest person in the room. Now, saying this is very innocent, right? It feels so innocent. It feels like there's nothing emotionally charged with this experience. Because I'm sure that you do feel better with whatever partner you've chosen in your life. You feel like they complete you. And sometimes that's a story that we have. You complete me. Now, what I want to bring attention to is whenever you are saying these things, like you complete me, you make me feel whole, you make me feel like, I can accomplish everything. You. Because what is happening in that moment is you have, you've taken this person and you've got a standard for how they make you feel. And this expectation now for how they make you feel. And what happened is when they came into your life, they plugged the holes. You didn't feel lovable. They came into your life. they offered their love, the hole is now plugged. With them, you feel love. Okay? Same thing with, if you were like, I don't believe I'm smart. You get into a job position. Your boss constantly tells you you're doing a great job. You are amazing at what you do. Our department would just be lost without the work that you're doing. And now the hole is plugged. Now you feel validated. You feel, you feel like you're doing what you, like the quality that you felt you were missing, they have plugged for you, okay? With a friendship, okay? Maybe you're like, I don't feel good enough. And your friend, you get around your friend, and with them, you do feel good enough. You feel accepted, you feel loved, and what they've done being like what's happened being around them is that they've plugged your hole. Okay, sorry, the words coming out today feels a little hard because I've recorded a bunch of episodes in a row. But you get around them and they've plugged your holes, right? And so you feel on top of the world when you're with them. It's amazing. Your relationship's amazing. You feel complete, you feel whole, you feel loved, you feel seen, you feel like you're enough, you feel all of these amazing things. But then something happens. A circumstance comes up in life, and this partner you were madly in love with, it's no longer a fit. You find yourself divorced, or you find yourself broken up with, or your friendship has fallen apart, or the job no longer works and they're putting someone else in your spot. And now that they are out of the picture, you are experiencing a crash. And the crash is because you're like, no, I can't live without you. I can't function without you in my life. Like, please come back. Please be in my life. Please don't do this, right? This is what happens for a lot of people. Like, you feel like your world is falling apart when a chapter ends or a person leaves. And I want to offer you that a big piece of why is because they temporarily plugged the holes of the qualities you didn't believe in within yourself, of the feelings you were depriving yourself of before they left or before they even came into your life. When they came into your life, they temporarily offered something you didn't feel that you had. They plugged the hole. And now that things have changed and things have shifted and they're leaving or they've walked away, you feel like they hold all of the power to make you feel all the amazing things that you felt when they were in your life. Okay? But I want to offer you that you didn't have it to begin with. You borrowed it. You borrowed it. Get really clear on when you're doing this in your life. What are you borrowing from other people that you don't believe in for yourself, that you don't believe you have right now? Because here's where your power lies. You have all the power in the world to believe those things in yourself. In fact, if you don't, that is your work. That is your work. It is not anybody else's responsibility to fill your holes, to make you believe something based on how they're showing up. You can borrow belief. So I want to show you where this is more appropriate, right? It's like if a client comes to me and works with me, or like this is what I experienced working with my coach, if they're like, it's possible for you though, like you can have it. You can be your highest self. That's a healthy way of borrowing belief, okay? It's like, they see something in me, they believe it in me. I do believe that in me to an extent, but it's nice to hear them say it, right? It's nice to hear them say it. However, if they didn't say it, I would not make it their responsibility to make me feel a certain way in order for me to take action on my own life. Like, I didn't become reliant on my coach pumping me up or saying nice things to go out there and do a podcast, to go out there and provide value that would then create clients for me. I didn't rely on her giving me something because of my own hole in my belief in order to, go after the life that I wanted. Did I have to borrow it sometimes? Absolutely. But I knew that even if she didn't give it, it was in my power to find it for myself. And that's another thing that will keep you going, right? It's like you don't need anything from anybody. Question yourself when you think this. Get curious with yourself when you believe this, that you need something from someone. You don't. I will tell you firsthand that when you are filling your own holes and you don't need anything from anybody else, every relationship you have in your life will be a privilege. They are an extension of you. You get to fully enjoy them, and it's because you don't need anything from them. You fill your holes yourself. You give yourself everything you need. You don't need anything from them. You don't expect anything from them. You give it to yourself. When you give it to yourself, when they come into your life, they just get to be there. You get to enjoy your time with them. You get to fully be present in who they are because you know yourself inside and out. You don't borrow anything from them. You didn't need it. You have all of your holes plugged. This is what creates the catastrophe when things happen in our life where people come and go. Okay? And we just were like, oh God, without you, I don't even know who I am, right? Without you, this feels so terrible. Now, of course, there are situations where, like for instance, if you have children, they're an extension of you. And if something were to happen, yes, that would feel absolutely devastating and would create a hole in your life and would be at that point a grieving process. So that's a whole different topic than what we're talking about now. What we're talking about now is when you're reliant on someone else to create an experience for you, to create feelings for you, because you don't believe you have the capacity to generate it for yourself. And I want to tell you that that's false and that there's always work that can be done to build belief into yourself, to feel good in your own body, to experience the emotions that you desire and to work through the emotions that are not feeling good in your life. And we have to stop, delegating responsibility to other people to feel better. And this is the biggest thing. This is why people have manuals, in their life. And that's a podcast episode earlier on. But it's like we want other people to behave a certain way, or then we try to control other people's behavior. Or if they start to change, we realize they're not meeting our expectations and we need them to be a certain way so that we can feel a certain way. And so we delegate so much power to other people and to circumstances. And I have to tell you that the biggest work is what you're willing to do for yourself on the inside. That is the work of becoming your highest self. That is what is most important, that emotional self-awareness, that emotional intelligence, that ability to give yourself what you need before you're blaming everybody else and relying on everybody else to fix it for you. You have the ability to fix it. Okay? You have that. It's all inside of you right now, underneath any limiting beliefs, underneath all of the stuff that you've stuffed away in your life. It's in you. It's underneath the pile of letters in the locker. If you've listened to that episode, it's in you right now. So how are you going to show up to make sure that you're filling your own holes and not delegating that responsibility to the people around you? It's not up to your boss. It's not up to your coworkers. It's not up to your best friends. It's not up to your sisters, your brothers, your parents, your significant other, anybody else in your life. It is up to you. You have to be the one to do that work. And if you're ready to do that work, lock arms with me. I will help you. I have been there. I have done that. I used to have a lot of holes. And I did a lot of blaming and a lot of delegating responsibility. And the most common phrase that would come out of my mouth is, if this person doesn't change, I'm never going to be happy. Unless this person becomes different and takes responsibility for themselves, I'm never, ever going to feel better. And it was like, oh my God, the amount of power I was giving to this person who's just being who they're being. They may never change. Why am I delegating so much responsibility to someone who doesn't even see what they're doing, who doesn't care? And I'm making myself feel a certain way. I'm keeping all of my holes and waiting for them to plug them. Why? Why in the world would you do that? Why in the world was I doing that? And it's because I felt like I didn't have the power. I really felt like it was out of my control. It felt like the news to say that to my coach, like, it's just not in my power. Unless they change, I just can't do anything. And it's like, really? No, it's absolutely incorrect. So you can do this for yourself. And if you need help, reach out to me. We will work on it together. Okay? Have an amazing week. I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you next time.